Matthew chapter 1. The Old Testament and the New Testament. The Old Covenant and the New Covenant. The covenant of works and the covenant of grace. Do these things and you shall live. Believe this and you shall be saved. Jesus was the only person to ever do these things. Do these things and you shall live. Jesus alone did these things and died. The covenant of grace. In the covenant of works, the Old Testament, God gave signs and seals of that promise. Signs and seals that are fulfilled in the new covenant. For instance, in the Old Covenant, God worked and then rested. In the new covenant, we don't celebrate on the seventh day of the week. We celebrate today on Sunday, the Lord's Day, the first day of the week. Why? Because Jesus' work was finished when he was risen from the dead. In the Old Covenant, we have the Passover, which is fulfilled in the Lord's table. In the Old Testament, we have circumcision, where believers mark their children as members of this Old Covenant. I will be a God to you and to your descendants. Abraham would say, God, my son, Isaac. And God would say, circumcise him. Isaac would become a father, say, God, my son, Jacob, what should I do? Circumcise him as a mark of the covenant. Jacob would have 12 tribes, 12 sons. What should I do with these boys, God? Circumcise them as a sign of the covenant. And the new covenant, that's replaced with baptism. Even Jesus himself, when he would have been circumcised by Mary and Joseph in the new covenant, he's baptized. And who weighs in? God. This is my beloved, what? Son. We have that little tiny word in the New Testament, oikos. Oikos. For instance, we know that the qualifications of an elder and a deacon, one of them in 1 Timothy 3 and Titus 1, is they must manage their children, their oikos, well. And so it is in the new covenant. We see people coming to faith, and what happens? They're baptized along with their oikos. Lydia, the first European convert, hears Paul's gospel, and she's baptized along with her oikos, her children. The Philippian jailer, ready to take his own life because he has lost Paul and the prisoners. Paul says, stop. He invites him to his house. The gospel is shared. What shall I do to be saved? Paul baptizes him along with his oikos, his children. Stephanos, a man who came to understand the gospel by himself and was baptized. Later, Paul baptizes his oikos, his children. No wonder Acts chapter 2 tells us that Peter preached and he said, this promise, like the old covenant, is for you and your children, as many as the Lord God will call to himself. New Testament baptism is oikos baptism. Believers baptizing their children because nothing has changed in the covenant of God. This promise is for you and for your descendants over and over and over throughout the Old Testament and into the New Testament. This promise is for you and for your children. Baptize them. Oikos baptism after oikos baptism after oikos baptism after oikos baptism. And the only place where oikos baptism does not take place is where you have believers who come to Christ who have no children. The Apostle Paul, no children. Get this one. The Ethiopian eunuch, certainly no children.